So, Kennedy, a film Anurag Kashyap made back in 2023, and it's finally out on Z5. And honestly, at this point, delayed releases have become part of the Kashyap template, right? Whether it's issues with the censor board, clashes with the establishment, or just the universe conspiring against him, his films always seem to take the longest, most painful route to reach us. Now, before we get into the movie, let's talk about the man for a second. Anurag Kashyap has a fan following that most mainstream directors would envy. He's practically the Robin Hood of independent Indian cinema. Someone who carved out a name for himself through sheer grit and an uncompromising artistic vision, back when everyone else was busy churning out cookie cutter romances and action flicks. But let's be real, his recent work hasn't exactly set the world on fire. His films were never box office monsters, but they always had something to say, a voice that was unmistakably his. That voice has gone a bit quiet in his last few outings. With Kennedy, though, it feels like it's back. Alright, so what's the movie about? Kennedy, played by Rahul Bhat, is an ex cop who the world believes is dead, but he's very much alive, operating in the shadows as a contract killer, taking orders from someone to eliminate targets across the board. His skill count? Let's just say it's not a short list. Now, why does everyone think he's dead? Who's pulling the strings? And what is he really chasing? That's the core of the film. And I leave it there because this is one of those movies where the less you know going in, the better. Here's where things get really interesting. The film has this almost Beethoven-esque like treatment. Every time Kennedy goes in for a kill, there's this Western classical violin playing in the background, as if he's not committing murder but creating art. And the kills themselves vary wildly. Some are clean and efficient, some are bizarre, some feel abrupt, and others are disturbingly methodical. What's weird is that this man is a cold-blooded killer and he kills people who are ranging from genuinely innocent to people who are not nice. You still find yourself rooting for him. That's the magic trick here. Kashyap builds this anti-hero in a way that's rare on Indian screens. You're conflicted. You know you shouldn't be on his side, but you are. If you have seen Gangs of Wasseypur, you'll recognize the template. Morally bankrupt characters you can't help but invest in. One thing I have to call out: Mumbai. The city is practically a character in this film. The roads, the flyovers, the gritty nightlife, the way light falls on the city after dark. Sylvester Fonseca's cinematography captures all of it beautifully. It adds this lived in, atmospheric layer to a film that already has multiple subplots weaving in and out. Mumbai doesn't just serve as a backdrop here, it breathes alongside the story. Now, fair warning, the first half might throw you off a bit. It doesn't follow the usual Bollywood rhythm. It's slower, more deliberate, and if you're expecting things to click into place immediately, you might get restless. But stick with it. The pieces of the puzzle start falling into place gradually, and once you cross the midpoint, the pace picks up significantly. You get drawn in. You want to know how this ends. Who comes on top. It's the kind of storytelling Kashyap does best, a slow burn that rewards your patience. Big win for him in that department. The background score, especially those violin pieces I mentioned, is masterfully done. It elevates the film in ways you don't fully appreciate until you sit back and think about it. That said, the songs, not great. I'd even go as far as saying, were they even necessary? Kashyap has given us some memorable tracks in his earlier films, so by that standard, the music here feels like a weak spot. Not a deal breaker, but worth mentioning. Now, the elephant in the room. Why was this film held back for so long? When I first heard it was banned, I was surprised. It's a crime drama. What could possibly be so incriminating? But when you watch it, there are a couple of instances, certain dialogues and themes that paint a few elements in a not so flattering light. And I believe that's what caused the trouble. Honestly, it's pretty tame. The dialogues in question are straightforward, and in any mature film industry, they wouldn't raise an eyebrow. But we live in a country that can be extremely sensitive to the smallest provocations, and the film had to bear the consequences of that. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Let's talk performances though, because this is where the film truly shines. This is Rahul Bhat's show from start to finish. Kennedy is a brooding, near silent character, On the surface, he looks like a man who kills just because he can. But as the layers peel off, you realize there's a history driving him: pain, loss, reasons that make you understand, but you can't fully justify what he does. And here's the thing, he's not a good person. He's not even a grey character leaning towards white. He's deeply flawed, unwise in many of his choices, and carries elements of schizophrenia where his past victims come back to haunt him. One in particular. It's an incredibly difficult role to pull off. You have to make the audience care about someone who is, by most definitions, irredeemable. And Rahul nails it. Absolutely nails it. Sunny Leone and the supporting cast do their jobs well, but let's not pretend this is Rahul Bhat's film through and through. I genuinely hope this opens more doors for him in the industry because the man deserves it. Look, we all want Anurag Kashyap to succeed. More than being an actor, which he's doing quite a bit of lately across industries, it's his filmmaking that made him who he is. It's his world, his characters, his refusal to play it safe that built that massive fan following. We want more of that. And Kennedy, it feels like the first real step in that direction. Not a perfect film, but a confident one. One that reminds you why you fell for Kashyap's cinema in the first place. I'm genuinely looking forward to what comes next. So if you have already watched Kennedy, drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you made of it. And if you enjoy reviews like this, do hit that like button, share it with someone who would appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.